is Republican congressman from Georgia. The murder of Laken Riley happened in his district. Mike Collins is with us. Congressman, it's great to have you on the program.
Well, I appreciate you having me, Grant. I don't think anybody has put it as pointed as you have just so far today.
Well, you know, it's amazing because the failure at every level is so frustrating, and I imagine you're just as frustrated. You have to watch it on a daily basis up there, Congressman.
You know, Grant, and you're exactly right. It's just been gut-wrenching what's been going on. And as a father of a 26-year-old daughter, an uncle to a niece who goes to that school who's 21 years old. And the fact is, Grant, I'm going to tell you, I don't think that 90+% of the tens of thousands of parents that have sent their students or their kids to Athens, Georgia, understand that that is a sanctuary city. Because if they did know that, that would have played a bigger role in where they would have sent their child to get a higher education. And there's a failure on so many different levels, local level, all the way to the federal level. And these things could have been prevented. They could be fixed in a matter of 5 minutes. But you have an administration that doesn't want to fix it, that has actually got an agenda to bring people into this country by the tens of millions to make sure that they vote, and they vote Democrat.
You know, Congressman, what's amazing is this happened at the University of Georgia, but it could be any big university. Look, I broadcast from Texas. You go down the road, down 35 to Austin, Texas, sanctuary city, where the University of Texas is. Go to Boulder, Colorado, sanctuary city. Go to Los Angeles, UCLA, and all the other colleges and universities out in that city, sanctuary city. NYU in New York, sanctuary. This is any city in America, and mostly where these big universities all embrace these Democrat policies. Do you think that people are starting to wake up to this?
Oh, of course they are. And Grant, you're hitting the nail on the head. You know, this guy came in, and yes, he attacked a border agent. Now, his brother is with him. Now, his brother's in jail as well. But he attacked a border agent. So what's the first thing they want to do? They want to go to a sanctuary city. That way, if they get into any other trouble, they know that they're not going to be reported to ICE. Now, when he got in trouble in New York, he decided he would move on to another sanctuary city to get him a fresh start, and that's where he wound up in Athens. And these sanctuary cities, we have got to shut them down. It's illegal to have a sanctuary city in Georgia, but when you have people like the local governments there in Athens and Clark County that are not abiding by state law and not cooperating with ICE, then unfortunately, something this bad and this tragic has happened, and people need to step up and do the honorable thing and resign.
Yeah. Congressman, I'm going to ask you probably the toughest question for a sitting member of Congress, especially on the right side of the aisle, who wants to try to get this stuff under control. And I ask this out of frustration. But until we get President Trump back in office, what can be done? What can Congress do? You know, Joe Biden says he wants money for the border. It's not going to take money down there to solve this problem. What do you do, Congressman, even from an individual level like yourself?
From an individual level, the first thing I would do, I would contact my U.S. Senator, because we passed over 290 days ago H.R. 2, which will secure that border and put in place the things it needs to make sure that people aren't crossing the border just willy-nilly anywhere across there and coming through our ports of entry. We need to shut that down. If the Senate would take that bill up and vote it up or down, mark it up, do anything but vote on it so that we can go to conference and make sure that we get something out. That's the first thing. The second thing is contact the White House. Joe Biden has the ability right now. He could do this in 5 minutes and shut that border down. If he needs to have an education on what he can do, because he probably doesn't remember, and all the executive orders that he reversed that President Trump put in there, we've got it. 1223 Longworth is my office. It's right out there on the wall. There's 8 things that he can do right now to secure that border and make sure that this stem of this invasion of these people coming across that border stops.
All right, so everyone out there, Stinchfield's Army, take Representative Collins up on his offer. Call your United States Senator. I don't even care if they're in another state. Call them all, for crying out loud. Let your voices be heard. There is strength in numbers, and in the end, we do win this thing. And I do think it's going to really take President Trump to get back in office before we see some real changes. But Congressman Mike Collins, I appreciate you coming on, and my thoughts and prayers go out to your district at the heart of all of this right now.
Well, I appreciate that, Grant. And you're exactly right. That's one reason I was in Iowa, I was in New Hampshire, I was in South Carolina last weekend. Folks, it's time to shut this primary down. We've got our nominee. We need to be running on the general election right now. And we need for Nikki Haley to step aside, and let's start concentrating on Joe Biden to make sure that we get the captain of our ship back in the ship. Because if you look at the House of Representatives right now, over 65% of us are America First representatives. We just need the head man back at the helm up there. We do that, folks, we'll take our country back and we'll get this thing back on track.
Yeah, you better believe it, Congressman Collins. And we need reinforcements for people like yourself and Matt Gaetz and Lauren Boebert and all the other good conservatives up there that are working hard to fight back against this radical left that has infiltrated Washington, D.C. Congressman Mike Collins,
it's
thank you for
almost
coming
an
on.
insanity. Well, I appreciate
It really
you having me.
is.
Thank you.
You